Hello, in this video, we're going to be creating this scene. Okay, we're going to build this scene in 3ds Max, and then we're going to render out this image. All right, so I've already modeled this building in Revit, and I've exported it to FBS. So before we import the file, the first thing we're going to do is to check the unit setup. All right, I modeled the file in Revit in millimeters, so I want to be how like working in millimeters. That's just because that's what I prefer. That's what we use most of the time in this part of the world. So when you confirm that it's in millimeters, you can set yours to centimeters, whatever it is you're comfortable with. Okay. Then I'm going to go to File, then go to Import File. I'm going to go to the location where the file is. I'm going to import it. All right. You can check the description. I'm going to put the link to this file in the description so you can download it and follow along. All right, now that I've imported it, first of all, let me change my viewport layout to double viewport, this one over here. All right, so I'll be working on this one and be setting, keep my camera view here and then be working on my scene on this other one. Okay, let me make this a little bit smaller. Select this car and delete it. These are REVIT cars and REVIT cameras. I don't need them. Okay, this one too, I'm going to select it. I'm going to delete it. All right, so I'm just going to start by placing cameras. Okay, so come over here, see camera, come down here to Corona camera. I'm just going to drop this camera here. Okay, just draw it diagonally like that. It does not really matter. Okay, then move it a little bit. I'll open my render setup to confirm that my renderer is set to Corona. If yours is not set to Corona, just click this and then select Corona under here. Okay. I will select this camera, then come over here and hit the C key on my keyboard to switch this view to camera. Then I will switch this to clay. Okay. And then press F4. You see that you press F4, you just come down here and click on edged faces to add edges to this. Okay, as you can see, I've just done that. Now I'm going to select this fence. This is the fence. If I come here, you're going to see the fence. I'm going to select this fence and I'm going to hide it in this view. I don't need it for this particular view, so I'm going to hide selection. All right. Now the next thing I'm going to do is move the camera. I'm just holding down the middle mouse button, and then while holding it down, I'm dragging it around. Okay, when you do it like that, you are going to pan. All right, so I'm dragging it around for now. All right, so now when you want to set your camera in 3ds Max, okay, there are various ways you can do this. You can just do it without the target, or you can do it with the target. But before you do anything, ensure that your safe frame is on. That enables you to see the part of this, view that is going to be rendered out when I start rendering. So to do that, I'll just click here. Okay, you're going to see show safe frame. Right beside it, you're going to see the shortcut for that. Okay, Shift F. So if you hit Shift F on your keyboard, it is going to bring this thing out. Okay, so I'm going to go into the render setup so I can set my output size. All right, so it's in custom now. I can set this to whatever I want, but I want to change it to this first one here. Okay, it's almost the same as the custom that we just changed now, but just a little bit different. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Then I'll select this viewport like so, and then I'm going to lock it so that whenever I'm working and I want to do interactive render, it's going to show whatever is in this view. Okay, I'm going to go over to performance. I'm going to change this thing to none. All right, and then I'm going to cancel that from the render setup. I'm going to hit G on my keyboard to remove this grid. Okay, so I can just work without any confusion and interference. Now I'm going to select this camera and we're going to set it up. All right. Now when you're working with the camera, you can see in the viewport display, you're going to see the target. The target will be showing horizontal line, all those things. I don't really like working those things. Where you actually going to work with is this photographic parameter, tilt and shift. From time to time you work with your DOF and motion blur, but for this particular video we are not going to be talking about that. And then sometimes you might work with environment and clipping, or the viewport and VR, so projection and VR, I mean. So, but for this particular one, let's start by adjusting this. So when you look here, you're going to see field of view and focal length. So this field of view and focal length, they are like inversely proportional to each other. So when you're increasing one, the other one will be reducing. When you're reducing the other one will be increasing. So I like to work with my focal length, not the field of view. So for a stereo, you can keep it at 30. Okay, when you keep it at 30, you can see the image. We have zoomed out a bit, and how we did that was using the focal length. All right. So now that I've done that, I want to ensure that my camera height is, in the normal height. Now, when you look here, you're going to see is 19. For a stereo renders, I like to put it at human being's height. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing a drone shot where you are a little bit higher than a human being's height, or doing, something lower where somebody might be bending down or lying down on the floor to snap. But this is what I like to do most of the time. I like to do it in the height of my height. That helps with the realism and all that. So I'm just going to type 1350. Okay, when I type that, I see that word out. You can even put 12, even 1000. Okay, but I'm going to use one. Okay, let me just make it 12. Now I'm going to select the target. Okay, I'll select the target and raise it up. Okay, raise it up a little bit, like so. Use it small. Okay, like so. And then when I raise it up, you find out that the image, the object in this image, which is the building, is becoming to be skewed. It's becoming to be distorted. Now I'm going to select this camera and I'm going to go over here to tilt and shift, and I'm going to turn on this automatic vertical height. Just watch what happens when I turn it on. It will straighten the building right back. All right, when I do that, I don't want to be using the target anymore because I've used it to set what I want to set. Then now I can now move this camera back a little bit to balance it well in the frame. All right, you can use image comp helper. There's a video I've done on this channel where I taught you where to get image comp helper and how to install it. So do well to check that video if you don't already know that. So I'm just going to click on this viewport and then turn on my image comp helper, and then I want to turn on the center cross. I want this angle to be in the center cross, so I'm just going to move it a little bit till I get there using the pan tool. All right, so okay, I want to rotate, not actually rotate, I want to move my camera a little bit so that I will get more of the building front than the side. So I'm going to turn on the target and then select only the camera and then move it. Okay, just like that. Okay, you can always work on your camera anytime you're ready. Okay, as you're working and you realize that something is not really the way you want it to be, you can always make some adjustments. All right, so I'm just going to move it out a little bit, like so, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to select my camera. Okay, make it 1350 right back. Okay, 12. Initially I did 12, so let's make it 12 right back, and then select the target, move it up a little bit. Okay, so when you do it like this, you find out that the camera is already almost balanced. Okay, off the bat. So I'm just going to turn off my target. All right, now that we've done this, I want to quickly do something in this scene. I want to add some things. Okay, I'm just going to duplicate this over to this side. This is going to be a green area, so I'm going to say yes, just to duplicate it. All right, I'll select this fence, use this, the vertex sub object tool, okay, to adjust it to make it longer so it will pass the frame. All right, so what else can I do? There's no fence over on that side. I'm going to add a fence there now. I'm just going to select this one that is right behind here, and I'm going to do it just like that. Now I want to rotate it. Now you can see that this this gizmo for rotation, this rotation tool is not centered on this object, this wall over here. Now, if you're having this issue, there are ways you can solve it, but the way that is you're going to use now to solve it is just to come over here to the hierarchy tab. Okay, click on it. First of all, click on this affect pivot only. When you do that, you see this thing will come out here, and then you click on center to object. Then you say okay. Now you can now rotate it from that middle. But before I start rotating, I would like to turn on this. Okay, the angle snap toggle. Okay, you already know how it works, so I will just select it. If you don't, you can right click on it and then set the degrees of the angles. See the degrees of the angles and all, amongst other things that you can set here. Just open it and play with it and find out what you can do with it. Okay, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to, because we don't have much time, so I'm just going to rotate this thing. All right, see it's snapping now, and then after rotating it, I'll just move this towards this. Okay, now it's a good thing that it covers the frame. Now when you are looking at this place, you can see that the wall continued till the frame was covered. All right, so I am just going to leave it at that for now. Now the next thing I want us to do is to start our interactive render and then work on our light. All right, before I start my interactive render, I'll just, okay, you can see on this tab, this is the Corona toolbar, you see the Corona sun here. You see that you click it from here to select the sun, or you just click here, change this thing to Corona. You're going to see Corona sun and Corona lights inside here. Okay, anyone you choose is still the same sun. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to create the sun. Okay, just like so. Okay, just like that. All right, so I'm going to start interactive rendering now, so we can see what we are working with. So just click and hold and then drag it down. Oh, okay, now as you can see, it is still showing the REVIT material. We are going to adjust that now, so I'm going to stop this. Okay, when I stop it, I'll select everything, go in here. I want to create a default override material that I can easily adjust. Okay, so I'm just going to drag out, go over to the material, open Corona. I'm going to drag out my Corona Legacy material, and I'm going to apply it to everything. Select it, come down here, make this 90. That's the diffuse. I want to reduce the reflection. I want to make it like 120. Okay, and then for the level, I'm going to add 1 there. For the glossiness, I'm going to make it 0.6. All right, so that's it for now. Let's try again and see what we're going to get from our interactive render. Okay. Now, as you can see, I added sun without adding an environment. That's why it is looking like this. So to solve this thing, all I have to do is select this sun like so, open this, and then I'm going to add Corona Sky environment. Okay, you can add HDRI, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to be using Corona Sky. Okay, so I'm just going to click this, and then we have our Corona Sky environment. Okay. All right, so you can see it's very overexposed. Let me start this again. It's very overexposed. So I'm going to just reduce it a bit. All right, I'm going to take it down a notch so we can reduce the overexposure. All right, so I'm going to I think maybe this time I'm just going to reduce it, and I'm going to use highlight compression, the Reinhardt highlight compression. I'm just going to make it 55. So I'm going to add LUT. I'm going to make it like 0.4. Okay. And for now, I think that will be all. That will be all for now. So let's go ahead and edit this Corona Sky. I'm just going to open this, bring it out. Let me hit it on my keyboard. I'm just going to drag this inside here. Make sure that it is set to instance so that whenever I make changes to this, the changes if I make changes to this, it will affect what we are seeing in this scene. All right, so I'm going to enable cloud and then leave it at that. I think it's already looking good. Okay, just by enabling the cloud. All right, so I'm just going to select this sun and then adjust the height a little bit. It's at 2000. Let me just make it like 1, 2 and see what happens. Okay. Okay. Just playing with the sun to get a better sun, sun setting and sun lighting. Okay. Okay, just adjust it a little bit more. I think I'll just leave it like this for now. If I am not satisfied as we go on in the video, I will make some adjustment. But for now, let's just move on. So now that we've added the light, now it's time for us to go ahead and start working. I'll turn on the bloom, and also I'll sharpen this image. I'll just open this thing. I'll add 3 here. Okay. Yeah. Now I think it's time for us to add the material. But before we start that, let's add some trees around to, add some shades. That's going to make things look better. So I'm going to stop this. All right. So the first trees I want to start with are like forest park trees. Okay. The ones that are going to be in the background. All right. To help me cover the horizon. So I'll just select, go to 3D, set a library. Okay. And I'm going to, doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to select this one. Then import selection. Now I want to put it in custom edit. So I'll be dropping it one by one. So I'll just do this and say, okay, it's going to drop it for me. Like so. So I'm going to start interactive rendering again. So I'll see what's going on. That's very big, as you can see. So I'm going to scale it down, of course. Scale it down till it is not so much taller than the building. Right, so I'm going to bring it behind here. So you can also shade the tree. Shade the building. Take it outside the frame. Okay. And just duplicate a couple of it over here. Okay. Now I'm going to take one back a little bit and then make it big so that it will cast a more pronounced shadow on this building. That's obviously too much. So we're going to adjust it now. Going to reduce it. Okay, something like that. I'm going to raise it up a little bit and see what I get. So I'm going to rotate it. See if I get anything better. And I'm going to scale it down a little bit, I don't want it covering the entire building. I just want it to cover part of the building. Alright, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it to this side a little bit. Have some shade on that side as well. Maybe that's too much. Something like that. Something like that. Now, this gives me an impression that there are trees on this other side of the building. Now, I'm just going to take this and move it to this other side. Let's have a hint of tree over there. I'm just going to come here and add 0. I will take the tree down and I'll move it. Now I'll scale it down. Okay, scale it down so it looks like a tree a little bit, because if it's that big, it will be looking so mighty. All right. There are trees that can be taller than a one-story building, of course, but for the purpose of what I want to do, I don't want it to really be taller like that. Okay. Now I'm feeling like I need more foreground so we can park vehicles on this compound. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to move it back a little bit. Okay, that might be a little bit too much. So I'm going to just go forward a little bit. Come on. Okay. Let me just turn on the camera. Target. And then move it around a little bit. Yes, something like this. Something like this. You see how as I'm walking, I'm still adjusting my camera to get something, better each time. Well, you don't have to do this, but visualization is an art. Okay? As you're doing it, you're using your eye to check what you're doing to ensure that, it is looking the best. If it's not, if you're not satisfied, feel free to always make changes, as you go on. Okay? There's no rule per se of how your camera should be. Okay, so as you're doing, be looking at it. If you're satisfied, leave it the way it is. If not, you can change it. Okay, you can change it and nothing will happen. All right. So yeah, now let me stop this. So I'm going to start with the pavement material. Let me open this up a little bit. Start with the pavement material and start interactive render again. So for the pavement material, I'm just going to use the default material that comes with Corona, and then we'll work from there. So I'm going to go over to stone, and I'm going to use this. Let's go down a little bit. I'm going to use this. Okay. We're going to map this in a moment. Let's just select these ones. Like here, I want to apply nature material to it. I want to apply, a greenery like this to it, to them, because I selected 2 of them. So I'm going to just close this and then shift this a little bit. Now we'll select this and then apply UVW map modifier to it. Put it in box. And then because of the model I'm using, I'm actually going to remap it to 0.005. That's the length. The width 0.005 is same thing. The height 0.005. Okay. Now I'm beginning to feel like I need to open up this area so that sun can actually hit the ground. All right. So let me just keep this in one side. And then start moving things around and see if I am going to get what I'm looking for. Like, shift this out. That didn't do anything, as you can see. So I'm going to reduce the size of this and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to raise it up now. Okay, now I'm going to move it into this tree. All right, and then let me see. I'm going to select this and move both of them out a little bit. Yeah, So I want to get more of this grass that we're having here. So I'm going to select this camera and I'm going to move it into the grass. Just a little bit. Just a little. Yes. I'm going to select the target and move it a little. Okay. So I'm going to reduce this a little bit. It's coming very high. All right. Okay. Let me make it big and see what I'm having. Now I want to cover up this place a little bit. I know I'm covering and closing and opening. Let me just quickly do that. I'm going to move it. Yes. That's I'm going to take it down. Yes. You know, just create, like, play with lights and shadows to get what you want, okay? Or what you might want. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it up further a little bit. So something like this. Take it back a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah. So let me start working with materials now. Okay. Yeah, but you know, there's something we need to do. Before I do that, let me map here. So I'm gonna select this one and then open the modifier tab and then copy this modifier tab, select this particular one that we're having here and then paste it. Okay, that automatically makes things look, you know, a little bit better. All right, so but before we proceed, I want to get a building, maybe a building from a work you have done in the past. You can just get it and put it in the background to create an illusion of having a building in the neighborhood. Or you can just go to 3D Sky. There are lots of free buildings there that you can download as a fee and use it for your field building. Okay, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to use a building I've done before and then just bring it in and put it here on this side of this place. So I'm going to stop this and I'm going to save. Okay, I'm going to save it and call it exterior. Don't mind the way I'm typing it. I don't want to run into any issue there. Okay, so I've done that. So let me go and bring in the building now. All right, so I'm just going to like drag it into this place. So select it and drag it in, merge, make sure you're merging it. Okay, merge it. Okay, when it comes in, now I'm going to like move it to this other side. All right, I'll be doing my interactive rendering while I do that. Move it to this other side. I can see there's a building there, so I'm going to move it around till I get the interesting part of the building to be showing. Okay, I want to drag the attention off what we're doing, but to make it even more interesting. So I'm just going to like, okay, just a little bit. Okay, yeah, you can see that the work is already beginning to look lively. It's already beginning. Let me make this big so you can appreciate it more. It's already beginning to look lively. Now let's go ahead and apply material to it. Now I'm going to start from the fence. Okay, start from the fence and then come closer to the building. I'm going to use floor generator to do some things, and I'm going to create some materials. I'm going to just use the Corona default material. Okay, so let's go. I'll make this smaller and then select the fence like so. open this, duplicate, apply it to the fence. You can select it and rename it here, call it fence stone material. Okay, but I won't be doing this all the time. I just want to show you that it's possible to rename your material if you want to. Now we're going to create this material from the scratch, so I'm going to bring it in now. All right, so these are the maps that we're going to be using for that fence material. Let me shift this to one side. Let me stop this interactive rendering. After we finish creating it, we can still do interactive rendering. So I'm just going to bring in the albedo, okay, the displace, the gloss, the normal. Okay, you can also bring in the occlusion and use some, but you don't really need it. With this, you can actually create something really nice. So I'm just going to plug this to diffuse. Then this is the displace, right? Yes, I'm going to plug this one to displace. But I'm not going to, let me make this big so you've seen what I'm doing clearly. This I'm going to plug to gloss, reflective gloss. But I'm not just going to plug this one direct. I'm going to actually plug it into a corona normal map. Okay, I'll plug it there and then plug this to the bump. Okay, now you can see when I did that, you see the way this is looking. It's not looking really nice. I'm just going to select this to fix this now. I'm going to select it and then add gamma to input. That will fix it. As you can see, it has fixed by itself. So I'm just going to come over here now and I'm going to map it. It's here, but it's not showing. That's because I've not mapped it. And also, the reason why it's not showing in this viewport at all is because we have not set it to show. To set it to show, select this and then click this, because you will see show shaded material in viewport. When I click that, you're going to see it is now beginning to show. I'm going to hide this. I'm going to hide this. Let's map this. Okay. So I'm going to put UVW map there. I'm going to make this big now. Okay. And then I'm going to put it in box. Real world size. Okay. That's not going to work. So I'm going to figure out what's going to work right now. So let's make everything 5 and see how that goes. I think 5 is not bad. All right, 5 is not bad at all. So I'm just going to apply a corona displacement map on this and then open my material editor. Use this same displacement map that we're having here. You can see this displacement map, and then I'm going to put it inside here. You can see no map there, and I put it as instance. And when I do that, I can increase the size of this. I can make here -10. That's the minimum level, and make this 10 millimeters. All right. And also you can come over here. So double click on this thing and increase the bump. Can make the bump. Let me take this enough so we can see the bump. Can make the bump 5. Make it 5. And then maybe go over here to the displacement and like add 5 there too, Yeah. So for this place now, I'm going to take everything back to normal. I'm going to change this to white. So I have the realistic thing that we're supposed to have. Now I'm going to take the UVW map and this, both of them, and I'm going to copy them and I'm going to paste them here. Okay, so I don't have to do it again. As you can see, it has worked. Now I can do interactive render to see what we're doing and then see if we appreciate it. All right, so interactive render. Okay, as you can see, we're having it there. Now I want to make this material darker because it's very light. Okay, it's very light. So I'm going to stop this. Okay, and I'm going to open this material that we're having here. What do I do? How do I get it darker? I'll just go to maps, general, and bring in color correction, plug it there in between. I'm going to double click on this. All right, desaturate it a little bit, go to advanced and reduce this thing to like 0.8. That automatically makes things darker. And now I'm going to do interactive rendering. Okay, you can see things are dark. Now I want to do something. Select this material now. In fact, let me go close to the material, and I'm going to do that using pan zoom. Let me minimize this for now. Click on this plus button here. See 2D pan zoom mode, so I can go close to this and have a better look at it. Okay. All right, so it's not big enough, and I think we can make it big enough. Okay, so I'll select this now, go to UVW map, going to make it 20. 20 again. 20 for this one too. Let's see what we are having. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. Let me just come over here to select this and then change everything to 20. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to take it back. I'm going to exit the pan zoom, and then it is going to be a little bit more balanced. All right, so the next thing I want to work on is the glass material and aluminum material. For the aluminum material, I'm not going to stress myself that much. I'm going to use the default material to do it, but there's something I would like to show you. Okay, we are viewing this material, this aluminum from, far off. We don't really need all the maps that comes with it. So I'm just going to go over to metals. Where's metal? Okay, and I'm going to the first one there, that black aluminum out there. I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to select this map, and I'm going to delete it. Delete them, So I'm going to come over here. The glossiness, I'm going to reduce to like 0.6. I don't need all that glossiness for what I'm doing. So I will, first of all, come to the front. I want to edit this thing here. So I'm going to select similar. Okay, non-selected. So I'm just going to have to select them one after the other. So let me turn on edges. I'll see what I'm doing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to select this and I'm going to apply it to it. All right, that's that for now. So I'm going to select the mullions and I'm going to apply. Okay, select all instances. Then I'm going to apply this to it. Then I'm going to select the glass, select similar. So I'll quickly create glass now. I'll just drag out this thing, select the reflection and take it to 1. Then the refraction also 1. That has made the glass. So I'm going to apply this to it. Okay, for this particular one here, I'm going to select everything and I'm going to make it a glass. Okay, for the top, I'm still going to use this aluminum material over here. It's not bad. Okay, as you can see, all I've been doing has been affecting here in real time. Okay, you can see the material, the glass material, you can see the aluminum, everything is showing up here. All right, so the next thing I want to work on now is we're not done with this scene. I just casted some shadows. We're still going to put a better looking trees that will be close to the camera. We're going to still put vehicles and a better looking grass in this scene. So stay put, don't go anywhere. Now, the next thing I want us to work on is a gray material that we're going to apply on some part of this building. And then we're going to work on a tyrolean material as well. So I'm going to minimize this thing and I'm going to open this, material editor. Then I'm going to just, where is the default material that I created. Just drag it out a little bit. Okay, for this one I'm going to increase the brightness, going to make it a little bit bright. Okay, location, yeah, I think this is okay. Now I'm going to say okay. Now I'm going to move it out a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate it. Sorry, not move it out a little bit, I'm going to duplicate it. So when I duplicate it, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to make it gray, really dark. And then I'll come here, select this, and then select this, apply my gray materials to it. Okay, I've already added something, but I want it to be darker than this. Okay, I want it to be darker than that so that you notice it very well. So as you can see, it is already dark, and I like the way it's looking now. So I'm going to say okay. Now we have some lights, in some places, but before we do that, I want to create a tiling material. So I'm going to select this as it is now, and then I want the tiling to be here and here and then here as well. So that's the tiling material area. All right, so I'm going to select this and I'm going to apply this to it. So now it's going to be giving me a dark vibe, as you can see. What's going on here? let me find out. Oh, wow. So I'm just going to move it in. All right, so to move it in, all I have to do is select this one over here, select the face, use the move tool, and just move it in. Now when I do that, you find out that we're having space here. So I think I will just bring it out back. Okay, and then select this face here. Let me just use this too, and then apply the same material to that face. You know what, before I do that, let me detach that face from this entire floor so that I can easily select it later and not be using sub-objects to do that. So I'm just going to apply this to it, and then we have a cover up with this, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see. So you notice also that we have windows that we did not select to apply material to. Okay, I'm going to adjust that right now. So stop this for now. I'm going to select similar. When I do that, I'm going to isolate them. Okay, let's find out how these windows are made. So I'm seeing one and I'm seeing two. So we have two materials here. The glass part is the one part, and then the frame part is the second part. So I'm just going to use this that we've created. Okay, duplicate it over here, right click, and then I'm going to change the material map type to go to general. You're going to see you're going to see multi or sub object. So I'm going to say okay, and then say keep old material as sub material. You see, so I'm going to duplicate this in here and then plug it in number 2. Okay, now when I select this and apply it, you can see the material just applied without stressing us anymore, as you can see. So I'm going to bring it back, like return everything that I've isolated. Okay, return the view back to normal. That's what I wanted to say. So I'm just going to right click, just going to bring everything back again and take a look at what we have. Okay, now this is better. Now I want to go ahead and create the tiling material. So I'm going to stop this and I'm going to show you how you can be able to create this material. There's a video I've done in this channel where I showed you how you can create tiling material. You can even do it and get whatever color you want. All right, so this time around I want to make it dark gray. So I'm going to just go to where the file is and then import it. So this is the map over here. I'm going to just drag it in like this and then put it in diffuse. Now if we start interactive rendering, you're going to see what we have done and the effect of what we have done. Okay, there's this color of map, but then to change this, I'm going to go to Corona Color Correct. Okay, and put it in between, like so. First thing I want to do is to desaturate it. Okay, when I do that, everything turns white, and then I'll contour tint and take it towards gray till I'm satisfied with what I'm having. Okay, so I'm just gonna move it up a little bit and I'll say okay. All right, now it is time for us to work on the mapping. Don't worry about you know, the bumps and all that. Just let's work on the mapping now. So I'll select this and I'll apply UVW map to it and then make it box, make everything 5 and see what we have. Okay, let me actually come close and see. Yeah, not bad at all. Now we need to make this bump, we need to make the material more realistic by adding bump to it. Okay, so to be able to do that, I'm just going to use the same material I used for the I used the same, you know, material, the same map I used for the diffuse. I'm just going to plug it. Let's see what's going on first. Let me minimize this. Okay, as you can see, I'm going to plug it to bump. Okay, when I do that, I see that it became more pronounced. Now I'm going to go down to that bump and raise it up so we can see bump and make it 5. Okay, when I make it 5 is not enough, I make it 8. Just increase the number so that you can get the bumping very well. Now I'm going to add this to the displacement as well. So where that gets us. Okay, and go to the displacement over here and then add like 4 in there. Okay, all right, it is beginning to look better now. Let me just take it back, or let me just move it a little bit, and I'll select the UVW map over here. I'll just copy it and then let me minimize this and then paste it. When I paste it, it transfers what I've done here over to that side. Everything is looking good off the bat. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Paste. Okay, whatever is happening behind there doesn't really concern us. We're not going to see it anyway. So I'm going to return this back like this. Let's see. Yeah, it's beginning to come together. What do you think? I think it's beginning to come together. So the next thing I want to do right now is I want to add the material for this place. Okay, I want to add the wood material for that place. So yeah, I think I need to cover that place, that area. Yeah. So I'm just going to select oh, hold on. Let me see if this affects it in any way. Okay. That's not bad. Okay. I think I like the way it's looking now. So all I have to do now is to select this material, this tree over here, And then you see what I'm doing. This is not your conventional way of doing this thing. I'm just like, I move things, raise trees up, move it around, just so I can get the exact shadow composition that I want. Okay? The shadow composition that I want is something like this, that you can see the drama happening here. You can see the trees, you can see shadows casted here, you can see the building still showing some, you can see openings from the shadows. All these things are things that you just take your time to craft to make things look a bit better. All right, so now that I've done this part, okay, it's time for me to add the materials for this particular place and then the doors. All right, so let me do that. So to add this material, I'm going to do something first. I'm going to use floor generator to create what I need to add. All right, I'm going to add like a tile here, a wood look tile here. So I'm going to create a floor generator on this particular wall, so to be able to do that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop this for now. I'm going to select this floor, this wall, sorry, not floor. Select the wall like that, and then add it to it like so. So I'm just going to isolate it. Okay, then turn to this side. I'm going to use rectangle to do this. Mind you, it works with lines. I'm going to use the rectangle to do this. So I'm going to just do it like so. Don't worry about nothing. After doing it, you can move it into place. So I'm just going to change it to spline, just in case I need to edit this line later, which I'm sure I would be in need to do that. So I will change it to wireframe mode and then select these points, then move it down. And move this one into place as well. Same thing for these two. And this. Okay, so something like that. It mustn't be perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to the top down view. And I'm going to come out of this, and then I'm going to move it as close as I can to this place, like so. And then the next thing, I will duplicate it, rotate it into place, and then move this to this face, like so. Now I am going to use this and adjust the size. Now, when I'm done creating this thing, I can also move it around. But for now, let's leave it, at this. All right, I can go ahead and create something and put on that side, but I don't really have to. So I'm going to leave it for now. So I'll put it this way and then come over here, select this line, and then click on floor generator. That's going to generate our floor for us. Now, for the width of this, I want to make it, come down here, I want to make it 12 by 200. Let's see how that looks. Okay, when I do that, it doesn't look like a tile. So I will just come over here in the minimum offset and change it to 0, so that everything aligns properly the way they should. Now, for the width, for the size of this thing, we're going to work on it now. Okay, so the extrude, we're going to make it like 10. The bevel, we're going to make it like 3. Okay, and then the ground length, we're going to make it like 1. All right, so I'm going to come down to this place and see where things are facing. They're facing the right direction. So I'm just going to move it to that wall and leave it there. So I'm just going to select this one and click floor generator. Floor generator has this quality where it remembers the last settings you did, so it is going to remember it. Now we're going to do some setup to this, because if not, move it to the wall, make it big, or W to make it big. If not, you're going to have this line coming out here, which is not bad, but it doesn't make sense to me. So what I need to do is come down here, go to general. You're going to see yours might be inverted. I can see mine is showing this way. You can actually, move it, move things around and get things in the right position. But okay, this is the way it is. All right, so it doesn't really matter. You can move it anywhere. So you go to general, find general, you go to general, and then you can now offset things around. Okay, you can see I'm moving it in the y-axis now. Then if you want to move this thing in a little bit, you're going to move it in the x-axis. Okay, so I'm going to move it in just a little bit, so it makes sense that somebody will cut those things and put it there. So it is there now in the middle. All right, and then I'm going to select both of them that I just added now. Going to open Corona default material, go over to wood. All right, and I'm going to use walnut material, but I'm not going to just use it like that. I'm going to bring it into this material editor just in case I want to edit it. I'm going to close it now and then move this around a little bit. Just apply this to it. Now, when I do that, you find out that we're not seeing anything. Now it is time for us to map this. So I'm just going to apply UVW map to it, put it in box, and then set it to real world size. That does the magic. Okay, box, real world size. All right, now as we work with this and we find out that we don't like anything, we're going to adjust it. So this top place, I'm just going to select it and I'm going to use this material on there. Okay, we have some strip lights going on here, so we're going to work on those now. I'm going to bring in the Corona light material. Okay, and then I'm going to select this over here and this over here too. I'm going to apply this material to it, and then I'm going to increase the intensity to 30. We'll reduce it later if we find out that it is too bright. Now, how do I get the color that I want? I don't even like to stress myself, so I'm just going to come over here, select light. Okay, draw light, anyone, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go over to Kelvin temperature and I'm going to add 32. I want it to be this temperature. So I'll select this, select color, the picker, and then pick the color from here and then say okay. And that's it. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to delete it. Okay, minimize this now. And then I'm going to start interactive render to see what it is that we are having at the moment. All right, so I think we need to increase we need to increase the intensity of that light. I'm going to make it 50 and see what we've got. All right, make it 100. Make it very bright. Okay. I think that's not looking bad anymore. So let me go ahead and work on this door material and then this floor material and then add some greeneries over there. Yes, add some greeneries over there and your every other places, so we can call it a day. Now to work on this door, let me just stop this interactive rendering. Okay, so I'll just select the door, select this one and that one. I think those are the ones that are visible, and isolate it. Okay, so I want to, this door is going to have different parts. Okay, this is 1, 2, 4, 3. Okay, so I'm going to get this material. Okay, maybe get this one too. Sorry. So I just get this material and then get this one too. Then realize I wasn't showing this. Let me see. This is 1. So I'm going to plug this to 1. This is 2. Plug this to 2. The frame is 4. So I'll plug this to 4. Then I want the handle to be stainless, so I'm just going to come over here. Come to metals. And then just get a chrome. Okay, chrome. And I'll put this chrome in number 3. Alright, so with this now, I can just select this and apply this material to it. Okay, this should be showing a material like everyone else is showing their material. So I'll just select this, apply UVW map to it, put it in box, and then make it 0.005. Okay. 0.005. Alright. So over here, let me see what happens here now. Just 2, 3, 1. So I'm just gonna make a duplicate of this material. Okay, or let me see. This is 2. That's the wood part. Frame part is 3. Handle part is 1. So okay, so let me start with the handle part, which is this one. Okay, so I'll just duplicate this material down. Let's create it together, and then change the material type to multi or sub material. So okay, then let me see. Like this, and then I duplicate it, come down, and I duplicate this one. So the middle part is the wooden part, which is this, and then this part I'm going to add it to number 3. Okay, so I'm just going to come out of here and then select this and apply this material to it. Okay, so I'll just select this, copy the UVW map because it's going to be the same thing that will work for both of them. Okay, and apply it to there. There you have it. We'll be back. Okay, so for the staircase, we're going to be using black. Okay, we're going to be using black marble. So I'm just going to come over here. All right, go to stones. Let's just use this one over here. Okay, I've applied it. All right, I'm going to select one of these. I'm going to delete it. The same thing is what I'm going to do here. If we need it, let me see. Okay, so I'll select this and this, and then I'll go back here, and then I'll apply this material back on it. Okay, just paste this here, select this, paste it. Okay, come over here. What we are pasting is UVW map of 0.00. You can see box 0.005, 0.005. All right, so that's what I'm pasting. Okay, so I'm just gonna come over here. Hold on a minute. Put this there so that we can be seeing the materials. So just copy this, paste it here, so that everything, will be the same in my eyes. Okay. Now I actually want to do something. Let me see. Let's start an interactive render. I think it's better when I start an interactive render so I can show you what I'm talking about, so you see. All right, so as you can see now, we have light here on top of this place, which is good. We also have light here. I'm thinking we should have light here. Thinking it's going to be proper if we have light underneath here. So I modeled this place in Revit, and also this one. I added all those ones in Revit. Now we can always add this one too if we so much want to. Okay, so let me just show you how. So I'm gonna stop this now. I'm thinking of shifting this on a little bit, but let me hold on. Let's add the light first. You put it in wireframe mode. F3 on your keyboard to do that. So I'm just going to come in here and then draw a line, just a line like this. Hold down shift to make it straight to restrict it from curving. Okay, and then hit escape. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna raise it up. So I'm just going to be raising it up like so. Let me change it back to the default shading. Now this is just a line, but with this line now I can create what I want. Okay, so what I want to create is like a rectangular, sweep or something. So I'm just going to come over here in rendering. I'm going to enable this, and I'm going to enable it in viewport. Okay, it is round, it is radial. Just switch it over to this place and make it 25, and also make this one 25. Now you have something that you can work with. Okay, so I'm going to just raise it up. In fact, I'm going to select this floor so that I'll raise it up where I want to raise it up to. So I'll just put it here. And then come in here and apply the same light material to it. Okay. Yeah. And then come out. Just like that. Let me do an interactive render and see what I've got. Now, as you can see, we have light here just like we want it. So, yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay, so let me just go and touch the sun a little bit more. Okay, when I'm happy with what I have, I'll just leave it like that. So where's the sun again? Yeah, this is it. Okay, I think I have to move this thing a little bit so that I think this one, so that I have a little bit of cover for this front place now. Let's raise it up and see. I need to cover this place. Yeah. Something like that. Bring it down a little bit. Bring it down some more. Yes. All right. Okay. Let me make it big so we can appreciate it better. It has a lot of shadows here. Let me just see what I can do about that. Let me even see. Is it this tree there? Okay, I think that's the trio. That's just casting all the shadows. So I'm just going to scale it down. And then move it into this place. Just a little bit. Okay, move it to that position. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna come in a little bit more. Scale it down some more. I'm going to add additional trees. Maybe when I do add those trees, they are going to cast the shadows that I want in that position. I'll try and see what I can get with that, but for now, I want to let me make this thing big. Okay. Yeah. Let me rotate this tree a little bit. Yeah, so give me some activities on this wall. Okay, yeah. I think that's okay now. That's better now. Now let me just work on the saturation. So I'm just gonna reduce it, to like okay, then make this like 4. All right. Okay. Just increase this in a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, just like that. All right, let me just see, make it big and see what's going on. All right, so now it is time to bring in the other trees that I want to put. Okay, I'm gonna put some trees coming out here, beautiful trees, so let me just stop this and then minimize this. All right, and then I'm going to go to I'm going to use this tree by ever motion. Okay, I will put the links to these things in the descriptions. Okay, so I'm just gonna let me close this PDF. Let me just import what I need. Okay, so I'm just gonna get the number 27, merge it in. Okay, going to merge it in, and I'm going to put it somewhere. But for now, let me just keep it here. All right, Then the next one I'm going to bring in, let's start a tree, merge it. You merge it so that it comes in. If you open it, it's going to close this file and open that one for you, and that's not what you want. All right, now let's move it out to. Let's move it out. That's a very nice tree. I'm already seeing where I'm going to put it. All right, but let me keep it here for now too. Now the next one I want to bring in, we're going to bring in 4 trees. The next one I'm going to bring in is 35. Let me just select 35 and drag it in, and then merge file. Okay, so I'm just going to move it in like so. This is also a very nice tree. Very, very nice tree. So keep it here. Then the last one I'm going to bring in number 37. Those are my favorite trees to use. Alright, so I'm just gonna keep this. Let me see. Very nice. Keep this over here, and then all these trees that you're seeing here, none of them are corona. They are all Vero material. So before we proceed, I want to bring in some hedges as well. So I'm just gonna come over to the exterior asset. Then I'm going to open this. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so I'm going to open this, and I'm going to bring it in to this place. This is a lot of file. This is 500 MB. So I'm just going to merge it in. Don't worry about that. We're going to fix it now. I just want to put it in some places, okay, for variety purpose, okay. It's not as if I'm going to duplicate it all over the place. No, I'm just going to put it in some places so that it's going to contribute to this scene in a very wonderful way. So yeah, I'm going to move it into this place, just like that. That's okay. That's fine. So I am going to go back to the exterior assets, and I'm going to bring in some indoor plant. I'm going to bring it into this place, and I'm going to merge the file into the scene. Okay, I'm just going to position these hedges around the place, and then you will just see what I'm going to do with this. Just keep watching. Okay, just going to move it. Yeah, not bad. Okay, all right, so let me see what else. Okay, I'm going to bring in flower bed because I want to put a flower bed inside this position. Let me just select this and then apply nature material to it. So I'm going to come to nature, okay, and apply this to that place. Okay, so I'm going to make this 0.005. That's what's going to work because these are REVIT model. Model is in REVIT. Okay, whenever you are mapping REVIT model 0.005, start from there. Okay, it is just going to work. So yeah, so it is time for me to bring in the hedges. Not this, I mean the flower bed, not the hedges. Okay, corona. So that's what I'm going to bring in this one and then merge the file in. Alright, so I'm just going to move it out here where we're going to be seeing everything. Move it out here. I can see it is huge. Now we might have to scale some things down, but for now, let's just leave it the way it is. Now, before I do anything here, I'm just going to bring up my relink bitmap and relink everything. So I'm going to hit download. Okay, it is not actually there. So I'm going to go to keep it in assets and then relink it. Now it's going to relink. I also keep it a document. Okay. Now these ones have refused to relink. Okay, there's a way we're going to do this one. So I'm going to hit Shift T that is asset tracking. So I'm going to select this, and we're going to go where it is manually, and we're going to relink it from there. So I'm going to click on parts, okay, go to set parts, and then I'm going to open this, go to this PC, go to the assets, okay, you see textures, and you're going to use parts, and then I'm going to say okay, and everything is going to come in. As you can see, they are all in now. If I should open my relink bitmap now, you're not going to see those files as part of the files that are missing. So you can just play around and see what happens. But these files, I think are from Revit, they don't really matter. Okay, everything is going to look good when I finally render it. So, but these materials are various materials. So to change it to Corona materials, select them and you click on this button here. This is Open Corona Converter. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to say materials of the selected objects only. All right, I'm going to put it in non-metal, and I'm going to convert. Hit convert. It will convert them for me. All right, so I'm going to select this now, and I'm going to select this and minimize. I'm going to come over here now. Put it in wireframe mode. Okay. Just zoom it, scale it down some more. Just like that. Raise it up and keep it like so. Okay. So I'll just delete this part. I just need the hedges and everything that comes with this to be there. All right, so I'm just going to bring everything back. All right. Yeah, it's time to start positioning the trees. Maybe this is not the tree that I have in mind, but let's just start with that. Okay, this one will be over here. This one is going to be like that in there. So I'm going to put two of this one over here now, one here, the other one right behind, like so. Now for this one, I'm going to scale it up a little bit. Sorry, just like this, a little bit. All right. Now for this hedge, I'm going to move this one into position like this. This is very big now. I'm going to scale it down. All right, just like that. And this one that doesn't have any tree, like any leaves on them, I'm just going to scale it down to just a little bit. Scale it down like so. Then move this one here, copy it and rotate it. Alright, but now I need to be able to see what I just did, so I'm going to scale this one down even some more. And then move it into position. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm going to shift this like this and then duplicate it so I'll have a very good cover in that background. Then I'll move it down a little bit more. Okay, So before we proceed, I want to see what I've been working on lately. So let me take this, put this indoor plant in some places where they're going to be doing some work for me. So I'm going to rotate this and lap it on the body of this building here. Okay, just like that. Then move it up. Oh, no, sorry. It should be in a pot. So I'm going to select both the pot and this, and I'm going to group it together. And then move it again to the location. Yeah, it should be in a pot. And I'm going to rotate this now into position. Just like this. Okay, just like that. Yeah. So if I keep this one here, let me go to the top view. Select this. I want to keep another one here at the entrance. Hit copy and rotate it into place. Move it up into position. Now I'm going to rotate this one into position. Yeah, but for in this situation now, wait, hold on, let me just make some selection. I want to select this, select that, and this. Then just put it like this, and then move it into position, and then rotate the remaining. Just like this. All right. Then I want to have the same, I want to have a hedge on the balcony, which I'm going to do. Just going to move it up like this, copy it, and then move this into position. This video is getting very long now, so I have to keep it a little bit fast paced, okay? And then move it up a little bit, move it out of the balcony, and then up some more. Okay, so now that I've placed all this, I want to actually see what we are having. All right, so I'm gonna bring this out, but before I do anything, I'm going to save. Okay, I'm going to save. Okay, now that we're done saving, I want to do an interactive render to see what I'm having. Okay. Okay. It's not looking bad at all. It's not looking bad. Now I'm just going to adjust this tree a little bit so that it will be greener just the way I like it. Alright, so I'm just going to stop this, bring out my material, create a new one, view 2, and then pick this material into that place. This is that's the stem of the tree, and this is where you have the material itself. So I'm just gonna use the corona color correct, place it here, and then work on the exposure of this material. All right, so I'm just going to open this like so, keep this by the side like so. Alright, so from experience, I already know that this exposure, if I set it to 1, it will be okay. So I'm going to set it to 1. and then it is going to be okay. And then I'm going to duplicate this out. Do the same thing for this place. Put it in the base color. Okay. Let me get the material for others too. Yeah. If I should do an interactive render again, we're going to see how it's going to look. All right, so I'm going to start an interactive render and see how it goes. Okay, so it is clearing up now. Okay. Not bad at all. Good. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer to the building, and yes, that's going to do just fine. Now I want to add hedges around this building. I want to add hedges towards this end and then right in front of this place. And then I'm going to add forest park just, in front of this building like this. So I'm just going to stop this for now. Okay. And I'm going to draw a line that I'm going to use to host the hedges I want to add. So I'm going to draw this line like this. Don't worry about the things that are showing. Just going to draw it and then bring it down. In fact, I'm just going to draw that one. Select the vertex and then move it down. Okay, I'm going to draw another one from here to here. Alright, then I'm going to just select this and move it up a little bit inwards. Okay, so I'm going to disable this and I'll select this one too and disable it. Alright, so to be able to host this thing, I have to open my forest park. But before I do that, I always advise that you save the work that you have been doing so far. All right, so I'm going to open the forest park and I'm going to select, click on select, and then make sure I am in presets. Then under preset, I'll open cut hedges. Okay, I'll go to my go-to cut hedges, which is this. Okay, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to import it. But instead of being in custom edit, now I'm going to be in generate. So I'm going to just pick it like that. I'm going to say okay. Say okay again. All right. So to proceed, I'm going to come inside the modify tab. All right. And I'm going to go to the distribution. I'm going to change this thing to image. And I'm going to set it to 3.6. Okay, that's not bad at all. Then I'm going to go over to the area tab. I'm going to close this down, close the distribution down, open the area tab, and I'm going to add this line to it. Oh, nothing comes out. So I'm just going to remove the line back. You know what? Let me add it again and go over to distribution. Yeah. can see, you just have to go there and click on this unit button up or down a little bit. It will adjust it and bring out something for you. Now the next thing I want to do is to add some grasses around. I know how I do it. I add it only where it's visible. As you can see, that's what I've done with these hedges. I add it only where it's visible. There's no need adding it here when you're not going to see it in your camera. So I'm just going to select this camera and I'm going to leave the cone on at all time, so I'll see where the camera is showing. Okay, and I'm going to, let me just leave it the way it is now. So I'm going to come over here to line and I'm going to draw the line. I'll start from here. Okay, then I'll take it down to this place, to the extent to which I can see. As if you look, when you look here, you will see it. You'll be seeing the line go down there. So I'm gonna click on this just like that, then this, and then that. Make sure that the spline is closed. Now I'm going to open Forest Pack again. I'm going to select. In that same preset, I'm going to go to Layered Lawns. And in the Layered Lawns now, I'm going to select this one and I'm going to import it. Alright, so for the purpose of what we want to do, I will keep it in shape so that I will not be able to select anything apart from this line. This line is a shape, okay? These are geometries, everything around is geometry. So I will just come here and make sure that the mode is in generate and then click on that line, let it load. Okay, now it has entered in there. Now to make this scene light, I have to, let me change this back to all. I have to change some things to proxy. So I'm just going to select this. No, not that. This. And I'm going to export the selected object, okay, to proxy. Reduce the size of this scene. Do the same for these two. Make sure that everything is in order and proceed. I'll move it down a little bit so it will be on the floor. Okay, I think this one is okay. So I'm going to select this, send it, export it to proxy. Send in for this one, export to proxy. Okay, bring everything back. Export to proxy. Export to proxy. Okay, this is supposed to make the scene light so that it doesn't load a lot. Export to proxy. Okay, this big one I'm going to also export it to proxy. The same for this, export to proxy. Alright, what else? Look at this. Also to proxy. Alright, I think we're on point now. So before we see anything, okay, before we proceed, I want to go ahead and bring in the cars. Alright, the cars we're going to be using, which are this particular car here. This one here, I'm going to just bring it in. Okay, just over here. I'm going to group this car now. Okay, so I'm just going to drop it on the ground. Put 0 here. It's entered inside the ground. So I'm going to select the floor, that's the compound, the ground. I'm going to move it up. Okay. Then keep it on the floor. Then I'll rotate it. Bring everything back. Okay, keep it like this. Let me go and bring in the other vehicle. Go back to the stereo asset. This is Land Rover. So I'm just going to drag it in. Okay. I'm going to move this into position. In fact, I'm going to keep this one on the outside while this goes inside. Okay, I'm going to turn the back too, just like that. I'm going to keep it in position, like so. Whereas this one, I'm going to bring it out a little bit, like this. Okay, now I'm going to save this file. But then I don't want to do interactive render, so I'm just going to open this up and then set the output size to something I can manage easily and then do a render, because this file is getting heavy and it's wasting time when it comes to doing interactive rendering. So that's a way you can, quickly check out what you have done. Just set the aspect ratio, the output size to something a little bit small, and then do a quick render, a test render. Okay. All right. Things are looking good, but I have to make some quick adjustment to the vehicles, the materials of the vehicles, and then relink all the maps so that everything will be looking fine. So I'm just going to stop this now and then reposition the cars as well. Let me first of all find out the material that is used for this car and see if we need to make any adjustment to it. Standard material. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to convert it to Corona material. First non-metal. Let me see this one. What material is it? This is Vire. I'm gonna do the same thing to it as well. So I'm just gonna first non-metal, then convert it to Corona. Remove the edge. I'll copy this and I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to paste it inside there. Now we are having a reflective body of car. Okay, that was number one. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to plug it in number one. Okay. That is a little bit. Yeah. Let me just move it into position like this. Select this and move this one in a little bit too. Okay. And then let's do it again and see what we're going to have. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to work on this material a little bit. Material of this a little bit. So there are some things I want to be chrome. Okay. So I'm just going to open this. For this, I'm going to make it a stainless steel material. No, not a black grill material that is reflective. So I'm going to go to metal and just apply this material to it. The same thing. For this one in particular, let me come over here first. I'm going to make it a chrome material. So I'm going to apply this to it. This is going to be a black metal. I want to use this one that I've already used inside this material. That's a material. Now for the tire, let me just see. Let me close this group. Okay, so I'm going to open the group again. For this particular tire, we have different parts, so I'm going to... Oh, okay. Alright, so here I'm going to apply a chrome material to it, whereas this particular one, let me see what is going to come out. Okay, so I'm going to start with this for where we have the black material. So I'm going to put this in number 1. So this chrome material, I'm going to get my chrome in here like so. I'm going to replace it with this. So you don't even really have to. There's a tutorial I've created on how to do this, create these different types of metal. You can check it out, but you don't really have to. Okay, you don't really have to. What you have to do is just get the material where you already have it, which is the default material that comes with Corona, and then apply it. Okay, use it to replace the materials that you don't like. Okay. Now I mustn't use this car. I can just go and get a car that already has Corona material applied to it. But what fun would that be? Okay, so I'm just going to select this now, and I'm going to close it. Let's see what we're going to have. Okay, I'm going to bring out this in again. But before I do that now, I want to relink the bitmaps. Okay, so I'm going to come to set it to asset and then relink the bitmaps. Okay, set to documents now. Yeah, I think everything is in order right now. Let me see. Everything is in order. So let me go ahead and do another test rendering. Looking at the cars now. So I'm going to hit the render button and let it render. All right. So as you can see, I think this is looking a bit better now. All right. So yeah, I'm just going to stop everything now. Open it up and see if I can cheat the system. It's opening up. So that is how I created this scene. Okay. If there's anything else that you don't understand, if there's something that I did in this scene that is not really clear to you, you can ask, me in the comment section, and I will do my possible best to answer your question as clearly as I can. All right. So I'm going to stop this, and then I'm going to go in here and do my final render setup. Okay, I'm gonna go to scene. I'm going to change the denoising. I'm going to change it to Corona high quality. Come over here. I'm going to add 3000 inside here. Okay, just for starters. Let's just render that one. Just gonna turn off this thing. Doesn't really matter. I just like to turn it off. So after doing that, the next thing I want to do now is open this place and then just hit. Okay, look, before I do that, I want to add LUT. No, not LUT, sorry. Not LUT. I want to add vignette. Okay, so reduce it. I increase it a little bit, just like that. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit render. So I'm going to pause this video and restart it when the render is done, so I can show you how to save out if you don't already know that. All right, so see you then. All right, so the render is done now, so I'm just gonna stop it now so I can save out. All right, so I'll just click stop just one time. When I do that, it will start denoising the image. Okay, but if I had clicked cancel here, it would have canceled it entirely, and there will be no, there will be no image. So there will be no denoising of the image. Okay, so yeah, it's almost done now. So when that is done, okay, I will just hit save and then call it something. Okay, exterior view 10, whatever. Then I'm just going to save it to PNG and then override it 2.2. Okay, and then I'm going to save it out and I'm going to say okay. All right, so that's how you do and export all these things. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like, and if you're new to this channel, subscribe. Okay, subscribe. Don't only subscribe, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future tutorial. All right, thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.